were years when John Brodie had to duck beer cans that were hurled by agitated fans. But in 1970, Brodie put it all together and had a career year, at a then advanced age of 35 for a quarterback. He took a 1968 49ers team with a 4-win, 8-loss, 2-tie record to the NFC Championship game in 1970. On opening day against the Redskins, he completed 17 of 20 passes. That 85% efficiency mark was the second highest in the NFL record book at that time. It matched the same percentage that he posted against Atlanta the year before. During the 1970 season, he became only the fourth quarterback to surpass 25,000 career passing yards. He joined John Unitas, Sonny Jurgensen, and Y.A. Tittle in that once exclusive club. ProFootballReference.com utilizes an approximate value in an attempt to attach a single number to each player's value over the course of a season. It's a somewhat complex calculation, and John Brodie finished with the fifth highest value in 1970, with a score of 16. This video features the 1970 players with the three highest approximate values. Larry Brown was tied with the second highest approximate value, 20. He was only in his second NFL season when he led the NFL with 1,125 rushing yards in 1970. Due to a pulled muscle in his left leg, he missed Week 12's game at Dallas, a game that Washington greatly missed his services in a 34-0 loss. He was the first Redskins player to rush for over 1,000 yards, and his 4.7 yards per carry was the highest of his 8-year career. Brown also had the second most yards from scrimmage in the NFL, just 48 yards less than the leader, Ron Johnson of the New York Giants. Larry Brown's approximate value score of 20 is the same as his 1972 score, when he won the actual NFL MVP award. Defensive end Carl Eller of the Vikings is tied with Brown's value of 20. At 6'6", 265 pounds, he was a huge defensive end for 1970, and his nickname of Moose was an appropriate one. He had 13 quarterback sacks and made first-team All-Pro. He was also a key component to the Vikings defense that allowed the least points in the league, only 10.2 per game. They allowed the least amount of yards gained with only 200 per game and an average of only 103 net passing yards per game. The Vikings had 8 games that they allowed less than 100 net passing yards. Eller actually finished with the 5th most NFL MVP votes for 1970. Vikings defense caused a NFL-leading 44 turnovers, and they had 7 games in which they caused 4 or more. They allowed an average of only 12 first downs per game, which was number 1 in the league, and they allowed the fewest passing touchdowns, only 6, and the least amount of rushing touchdowns, 4. In Week 6 Monday Night Football game against the Los Angeles Rams, they only gave up 5 first downs and 100 total net yards. Vikings defensive tackle Alan Page has an approximate value of 24, the highest for 1970. He was one of 3 1967 first-round draft choices for the Vikings and weighed 270 pounds at his first Vikings training camp. He played defensive end at Notre Dame, but was switched to defensive tackle in the pros. Thinking that he needed to get bigger in order to play the position more effectively, he increased his weight to 280 pounds by the end of his rookie season. In 1968, he reported to training camp at 255 pounds after the Vikings coaches wanted him to become quicker. He played even better at a lighter weight and made first-team All-Pro in 1970 on the basis of 10.5 sacks, 1 interception, and league-leading 7 fumble recoveries and 77 return yards. He finished in 3rd place for the actual NFL MVP voting. The following year, he would become the first defensive player to be named NFL MVP. Incidentally, his approximate value of 21 in 1971 was lower than his value of 24 in 1970. The NFL players voted for the winner of the MVP award in a special poll conducted by the Newspaper Enterprise Association. John Brodie received the most votes on the basis of leading the NFL in the following categories: pass completions, passing yards, passing touchdowns, passer rating, sack percentage, and interception percentage. you think is the most deserving to be named MVP? Let me know in the comments, and feel free to check out my video entitled Who is the Real 1974 NFL MVP? It's located in the special features section of my playlist. As always, thank you for watching.